Shalom Evrocha, welcome to the weekly Shir Zera Shimshon. It's Yom Hey Pashas Behar Bechukosai. Chaf L'chodesh Iyar, the 35th day of Sfira Sa'omer. And we're approaching the Yontiv of Shavuos, and this Shabbos we're going to do something to prepare for the Yontiv of Shavuos, as Chazal tell us. Ezra Tikkel Hamli Yisrael, Ezra instituted a takana, she'ekoirin the klolus of Pashas Bechukosai before Shavuos because of Tichle Shana V'Killoi Seha. We do this twice a year. Before Rosh Hashanah we read the klolus in Pashas Kisavoi, and before Shavuos we read the Teichacha in Pashas Bechukosai. And the tachlis is the same, in order to finish off with all the klolus and start the new year with brachas. And this man is mesugel to be zoichet to brachas and to stop all the klolus. Klolus means every time there's a lack of shefa, there's a limitation in the hatava, in the chesed of the Eibishter, there's a blockage. We can stop that before Shavuos and before Rosh Hashanah. And that's why we read these psukim in order to tell, so to speak, to daven, that should be tichle shana v'killoi seha, tachel shana ubirchei seha. Let's try to understand how we're going to do this as Hashem Yisbarach, to be zoichet to all the shefa toiv that a yid can be zoichet to. What's the mechanism? What's the technique? What do we do in order to get bracha? Beginning of Parshas Bechukosai, we have a few psukim that give us so much bracha, so much shefa, starting with the letter Aleph, Im Bechukosai Telechu, and it finishes with the letter Tov, V'oilech Eschem Koimemius. Chazal tell us the whole bracha is from Aleph till Tov, and we have to understand what we must do to get that bracha, and how this ties in to the avoid of this Shabbos, to stop the klala and to get the bracha. What can this mean? Let's learn Be'ez Hashem Yisbarach a short insight in Zera Shimshon, Pashas Bechukosai Ois Gimel, and perhaps we'll be zoichet to understand how we are mehapech klala to bracha, and how we zoichet to tachel shana ubirchei seha. Zog the Heilige Zera Shimshon Zechusa Yagen Aleinu. The pasuk says in Bechukosai Telechu, then we get bracha. Then it says in Bechukosai Tim Asu, if we despise the mitzvahs, then we get the opposite of bracha. Yesh ledaktik ma'u hakefil. What's this double lashon or triple lashon? It says in Bechukosai Telechu, then it says u'mitzvosai tishmeru, and then it says vasisam oisam. Isn't the bottom line that if we do mitzvahs, we get schar? If we don't, then we'll get the oynish chas v'shalom. So why do you have to write this in three ways? B'choshe talechu, mitzvoshe tishmru, vasisam loisam. Just say, im tasu ha'torah to kabla bracha, im loy tasu ha'torah to kabla klala. That's the question of the Zera Shimshon. If it the say, Ama, im b'choshe loy talechu. Another question. By the klalas it says, im bechukosai tim asu. You'll despise it. You'll have resentment towards it. You should have just said, im bechukosai loy talechu. What a lashon tim asu. Yes, Loima. Here comes the fundamental piece of the Zera Shimshon. Could be a game changer in a person's life. Shahachoiva hamutelas ala adam. What's the ikechiev that a person has in this world? Lehoiv hamitzvos v'lisnoi es averos. To love doing mitzvahs and to hate doing averos. That's what it's about. It's not about doing mitzvahs and not doing averos. No. It's about a person's approach, a person's attitude, a person's feelings. If you don't have a passion and a love and an habit of mitzvahs, even if he'll hold himself back, he'll resist from sinning. There won't be any excitement, there won't be any passion, there won't be any chiyus that's necessary to do mitzvahs. The kiyum mitzvahs of a person that does it dryly won't be transformative because it's got to do with the heart. Rachmana liba boy, ulehepach. The other way around too. Misha ain't sinna tekua beliboy im averis. A person doesn't hate doing averis. Efshash egzapam yitl bechet. It's gonna happen. Lo yamalit. He will be nichshel. So it's not only about doing and not doing, about being careful, not being careful. A person first and foremost has to build inside himself a ahava to mitzvahs and a sinna to averis. That's the tachlis of the person in this world, and that will protect him. That will ensure that he'll do mitzvahs, he won't do averis, but that's the avodah. And that is the key to brachas. Ulechein, bekiyam ha-mitzvahs, beginning of Parshas Bechukosai, Hashem doesn't say, when you do mitzvahs, you get bracha, when you be oiv averis, you get klala. No. That's not what it depends on. Amar kosav, in Bechukosai telechu. Telechu means, sheyilechem sinna gemura im averis. I think this means, this is the path the person is going on. This is the thing that he loves. And that means averas are off, are wrong. They're not appealing. I want to do Ritzoin Koini. I want to do what the Eibishter wants. It's an approach. It's an attitude. It's a way of life. That's number one. Secondly, you have a love towards mitzvahs. That's the second part of the pasuk. What does tishmeru mean? Normally we translate tishmeru to mean you will guard the mitzvahs. No. It's milashon v'aviv shamar es hadavar. When Yoir says the dreams to his father and to the shvatim, he says his father was waiting, longing, anticipating. V'aviv shamar es hadavar. Shemeroi avaschem. That's mitzvah tishmeru means, I'm waiting. I'm looking forward. I'm excited. You're looking for opportunities. You're looking at your clock. When's the next time I can do a mitzvah? What will happen if this is a person's approach? He'll have a ava towards mitzvahs. He'll have a sinner towards averas. Oz bevadei vasisa moisam. Vasisa moisam is a result of this understanding, of this feeling, of this attitude. You know what's going to happen? It'll be vasisa moisam, and then you get all the brachas. It's going to result in transforming the person into becoming somebody that actually does mitzvahs. And then he gets all the schar and all the brachas. By the curse, it's the opposite. You know what brings curse? Not averas per se. Like tishmeru means you don't listen to me. Lehoy va mitzvahs, v'listoi haveros. We're going back to the root of the issue. We're going back to the root of the problem. It's based on imloy tishmeru to love the mitzvahs. Ve'adraba im bechukosai tim asu. You got to despise my mitzvahs. That's the exact opposite of bechukosai telechu. When a person is excited about mitzvahs and he wants to stay away from averas, then he gets bracha. The opposite is in bechukosai tim asu. He feels this is a burden, this is an oil, this is not pleasant, this is not geschmack. Shema'astem aderech ha'tova mitzvahs. Va'af es mishpatet tigel nafshechem. Then the pasuk says a person will feel resentment towards mishpatim. Mishpatim are things, says things that are basic understanding of a human being. Nevertheless, this person's stooping so low that his whole value system is perverted. On the pasuk es mishpatei tasiv es bechukosai tishmeru. Then, if a person manifests such a type of feeling, avani eses lachem, if you hate my mitzvahs, chas v'shalom, Hashem says, then kavayachol esne eschem, I will hate you. K'dei shloi lehetiv lechem klal o klal. It's midah k'neged midah. When a person has a love towards mitzvahs, then Hashem will have a love towards him. And when there's a love towards him, then all the pipes are open, and the shefa pours down. When the static is shmeichen beitam, when naslar it's yivila beitasari to period. But when a person chas v'shalom hates mitzvahs and he doesn't feel a hatred towards averas, then Hashem says, okay, if that's the case, there's a separation that's going to be created between the brach and you, and then comes the thing called the klalas al deim shtapi. The Zera Shimshon is teaching us a big yesod, and really, this is the pasuk in the Teiche in Pashas Kisavai, that it says the reason why the Teiche came was Tachas Ashaloi Avadato As Hashem Elekecha Besimcha V'Tovleva Meroiv Koil. And my first to explain, Klala comes from Ashaloi Avadato As Hashem Elekecha Besimcha. You didn't serve the Eibishter with Simcha, and some Sfarim add Ashaloi Avadato. Even when you didn't serve the Eibishter, you missed this man Krishmi. He said a lashon hara. That was besimcha. Tachas Hashaloi Avadta was besimcha v'tov levov. You didn't care that much. You didn't feel upset. You weren't broken by the fact he did Avera. Because this person didn't have a hatred towards Averas. That's the source of klala. The source of bracha is a person runs towards mitzvahs. He runs away from Averas. That means he's connected to the real source. Then he gets all the brachas in the Torah. In these weeks, we're counting Sfiras Ha'omer, and the tachlis of the mitzvah Sfiras Ha'omer says the chinuch is to create within a person's heart a longing and an anticipation and an excitement towards Kabbalas HaTorah. Ke'eved yishav tzeil, like you have this servant, you have this slave working there out in the heat, and it's so hot, it's unbearable, and it's waiting to get a little bit of shade to cool him off. Says the chinuch, that's supposed to be our feeling in the weeks of Sfiras Ha'omer. When is Shavuos coming already? We are counting, we are waiting. It's 35 days from Pesach. It's only 2 weeks left. The excitement is mounting. That's the void of Sfiras Ha'omer. And it comes just before the end. We take all this excitement and all this passion and all this longing and anticipation, and we read Behar Bechukosai. And we say, yes, we are in the first category. We are waiting for Shavuos. We don't have another reason to live other than doing the Ratzon of the Eibishter. For the last 5 weeks plus, every day, we've been feeling that feeling. We want to get closer. We want to get the mitzvahs. We don't feel this is an oil, this is a pressure. This is the reason of our life. This is the reason of our existence. So we open up Parshas Bechukosai before Shavuos, and we read those psukim, and it generates within us a passion towards Torah mitzvahs, and that gives us this chus that Hashem showers upon us all the shefa and all the bracha and all the yeshuas that Klal Yisrael are desperately waiting for. In this chus that we learned, this piece of Zera Shimshon, in this chus of this Shabbos Kodesh, in this chus of our chizuk, in our attachment to the Eibishter, to his Torah mitzvahs, that we should be mushpa with Allah shefer hav, b'chalo elamos, bona, chaya, mezoiner vucha, and this chus of the Zera Shimshon, yagim adenu, levasha b'dva, yeshua v'rachim, a good Shabbos, and Allah b'suras tovos.